Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harpin Rugby Preview Show on our YouTube channel. Please hit that like and or subscribe button if you can. Joining me to look ahead to Ireland's latest assignment at the Aviva Stadium on Saturday is someone back for his 124th Harpin cap. Hello once more to Mr. Neil Keego Keegan.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is. It's stormy outside, but it's good to talk to you.
Storm Claudia wreaking havoc on the weekend, and they're saying Mike could have an influence on the game itself, but we'll get into that a bit later. But before we do talk about this match, just your quick thoughts on the win over Japan last week.
Yeah, it's a great stage for us to be in where we beat a team 44-10 and everyone's annoyed. It was a better performance, but in my mind, I don't know if it's because Japan got tired or we improved, but regardless, it was going in the right direction. But now the tests are really starting. I think, as we keep saying every single week, whether it's blue or green, no one is worried about seeing a blue or green jersey right now, and we need to build that back up over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it was a carry on from the week before. There was the disappointment of that result, and especially the way it ended. And that sort of bled into the start of this game, which was a very disappointing first half. The lineout was still wonky. There was all sorts. It just wasn't happening. I think they were lucky. We were lucky to be ahead, I think, at halftime. And even though, so you want everything to improve after the break, but the disappointment's still kind of hanging around. So it left us with, even though we came with the result we wanted, we were still analyzing and we're talking about lineouts and stuff. And the fact is, when the lineouts work, we score tries. Pretty much all of them came from lineouts. So yeah. But like I say, we need to, hopefully we can park that and move forward to this week. Yeah, you're going to say, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just one thing about the line out. It's similar to the scrum. It's similar to all these strike plays. We don't know what we're looking at. So we got to remember that we only see the end result. We only see the ball being chucked in and what happens. We don't know the ins and outs of it. So like the experts are saying, we're not that far away. We just need to see it.
And of course, by experts, you mean us. I mean, I know I know that's what you meant. No, seriously, no, you're absolutely right. There's a lot going on, but just hopefully they sort it out soon. Okay, look, let's turn and look at our feature match of the week, which is of course Ireland v Australia. It's part of round 3 of the Quilter Nation series, and it's taking place at the Aviva Stadium on Saturday, November 15th, kicking off at 8:10 p.m. with TV coverage on RTE2 and TNT Sports 1. Ireland named their match day squad at lunchtime on Thursday. If you're watching on YouTube, should be right there in the screen, or for the pod listeners, it's in the program notes. Now, Keego's picked out a few points from this Irish starting lineup, starting with Mr. Paddy McCarthy.
Yeah, and it's, as we said last week, there's obviously a plan that the management team have, and they're sticking to it. No one gets in there for as a participation medal type situation. He's obviously putting the shift in wherever he's playing, and it's a massive day. Whenever you say you're starting, and you're not, like, with all due respect to the opposition last week, it was basically game 1, 3, and 4 are the games that everyone wants to start. And for him to get the start this week, he gets to run the week or be part of the team that is run by the 10 for the week, which is massive for him. And it's great to see, all the stuff coming in was, aging team, we're not picking on form, all this sort of stuff. And it's all being turned on its head, which is great to see. And listen, let's go for it. Let's get behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a meteoric rise for Paddy this season, but both Leinster and Ireland. A bit tough on Jack Boyle, but I mean, we don't see what they're seeing in the training sessions.
Yeah.
And it's good to get these players through as much as they can. And, we're not sure exactly what they're going to do in this game. We know with Leinster last season, they often had Porter on the bench to bring him on after 30 minutes and give him a full shift. So they might be doing that. That could be the plan. We'll see what happens, but it's still great to see him pulling on that number 1 green jersey. That's going to be a big day for him. Your second point is about this, the age old 10 question.
Yeah. And I understand a lot of it is in the media and they have to build stuff up and things like that. Listen, in life, we spend all of our time trying to find 110, whether it's in your married life or on the rugby pitch. We have at least 2 right now, okay? Forget about the provincial jersey. We're not wearing that for November. If we have 2, we've made this mistake in my memory, which is, I can't remember much, but in my living memory, we have been married to 110 in every big team. And it hasn't worked. So Jack is the one in form right now, which is great. Sam got the run in the Six Nations. There's Frawley back there. There's a couple others there circling. let's cultivate a group of tens. You look at all the other rugby superpowers, South Africa, you look at France, New Zealand are trying to do it as well. They have multiple playmakers ready to rock and roll. They've played a lot of game time. We need to do that as well, because at the end of the day, with the results last week, we don't have to worry about seedings for the World Cup. Let's cultivate numerous tens who can run the team and operate at a very high level. They both are very different players. They both have strengths and weaknesses. We all know that. We're not going to get into that. But having two tens to choose from means we play a different way, which means we're more difficult to study. And if they get quality knockout rugby at provincial level, that's going to be great for us. Let's be in a polyamorous rugby relationship with at least two tens, and let's improve as a team.
Yeah, once again, you bring a metaphor that I best not bring too much further for this standard of video. Anyway, personally, I was surprised to see Sam start. Nothing against him. He had a good shift off the bench last week, and Jack has been fine, but I don't think he's the past couple of weeks he's shown the levels he was showing, like at that game at Croke Park, for example. But that's no reason to drop anybody. But like you say, I don't know if anyone's being dropped. This could have been the plan all along going into November, and I think that could be probably more the case of giving them both starts as much as possible. So, like you say, you can take the provinciality out of it. I mean, it's not just even at 10. You look at 14, for example. I think 14 is a classic example. Matt Hansen had that jersey stitched to him, but then he got injured. Calvin Nash came along and crushed it. But then when the two of them were injured, along comes Tommy O'Brien, and he's player of the match last week. So we should be saying it's great that we've got three players that are available. And for this particular match, due to injuries and other players, we got Matt Hansen able to come back and get into the team as well and do his thing from fullback. So it's great possibilities there. So it's great that we do it. It should be celebrated really more than anything else that we have all these options.
Yeah.
And speaking of options, we've got Doris, the skipper, moving over to 7, and Jack Conan in at 8. What do you make of that?
Speaking of options, it's almost like we planned this beforehand. It's great. It's tough on Josh. Someone was saying this is how many games has he started for Ireland? Like he's solid as houses and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes you go, let's just take a break a wee bit. Player of the year. People know what we're going to get with Josh at 7, and that's great. He could even be a future captain at different levels as well. But I think Doris has come back. When you read about him and what he did while he was off, he didn't watch the Lions. He had a detox from social media. He's obviously very, very hippie-ish in his thinking, and he kind of feels he can play wherever he wants to play. And I think line out, this is going to help. I think it's going to confuse the opposition a little bit because Jack Conan at 8, I think, is where he's going to play forever. He's probably got that tattooed on his back at this stage. Doris at 7, now that's interesting. That's new. Let's see how we get on here. I love what's happening with the team because slowly but surely, all the pre-November narrative is being chipped away. Age profile. Look at the team that went out to Spain. Look at what's happening with this selection. Not picking on form. Look at this selection. Players not being moved around and, it's the same team playing the same way all the time. Look at this team again. So we're chipping away. The captain stays on the pitch, which I think is really, really important for us. He's in a new position in green. So let's go for it. I think it's going to confuse Australia. And I think it's going to be great for us. Having that kind of player in there at 7, it's a very different option to Van der Fleer, who is still an amazing player.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the traditional 7 roles, I mean, we talked about our lineouts. He's such a crucial part of our lineouts and in the link row. It doesn't always go through the scrum half. The ball comes out of the lineouts, and it does present that extra dimension to sort of confuse the opposition. Once, of course, we've secured the lineout in the first place. But it's a bit tough on Nick Timoney, but he does get there in the bench. He was tried out as an option last week. He scored a try. He's got an amazing track record of scoring tries and wearing green over the years of the few months chance he gets. So no reason to believe he won't get on the score sheet again this weekend. But I think that's the right option. Kalen Doris. I think he has played seven a little bit before,
Mm.
within matches when called upon with injuries and other ways. So he can kind of do that role. We all know about Jack trucking up with the ball, and he's unlucky to be left out in the first place, as it is, because he can even made the Lions team, which is an amazing almost contradiction. But it's yeah. So yeah, overall, it's a lot of good options there, and it is a strong lineup for a match that won't be easy. Okay, so
Yeah,
now, yeah, go on.
can I just throw one thing? It's an interesting place to be when the back row we initially had 7 and 8 nailed on with Van der Fleer and Doris with the six with Omani going. Was it going to be Baird? Was it going to be whatever? And now it looks like the 6 and 7 are nailed on. I think Baird is the guy that they fancy now, because he's such an athlete. And now, if Doris sticks at 7, then that's a battle between him and Van der Fleer, which is delicious for us. And now number 8, we're letting rip on a Jack Conan who maybe feels hard done by in every single jersey he's been in over the last 5 years. He's going to be going out playing hungry, and he's going to be running people over, which makes him indispensable too. There's a lot of people who are going to be playing hungry. You look at McCluskey coming in as well. The job he did in game 1, he is playing to keep that jersey. And this is what we need. We can't have this complacency that we saw in the blue jersey early in the season. We have to go for it. And like, it's an 8:10 kickoff, so we're covering the entire clock over the last 2 weeks. So we need a big shift from these guys, but everything is changing. And I think everybody's talking about how negative things are. Everything is changing. Okay, and it's a really, really positive place to be.
Yeah, and those negatives you're talking about, I mean, those negatives are mostly we're not trying out new players, and
Mhm.
we're not doing things differently, and so teams know what's going to happen. And the reality is, we have been putting new players in positions. With, Stu McCluskey coming into 12,
Yep.
and Paddy McCarthy, all this stuff, all these new things being tried out, but also, if it wasn't for the line out, we have been doing new things. We just didn't have the ball to do it. And when we did it, it
Yeah.
seems to work. So it's an upward curve in both of those categories. So it should be a positive going forward. Okay, so now it's time to have a quick look at Australia. They currently sit 7th in the world rankings, just outside the coveted top 6, which means the first seeding in the pool draw for that 2027 World Cup they're going to be hosting. And it's worth pointing out that victory for them at the Aviva would go a long way towards catching Argentina, who sits just above them. So they have a lot to play for. They've had some decent results of late, although last week's defeat for Italy was, of course, a setback. What do you make of their lineup, Keego?
Yeah, it's and then didn't they fly James O'Connor over during the week as well? Like, he's 115 years of age, like they're
And
under a
still
huge
looks
amount of
12.
pressure. So, oh, I hate that man's hairline. But now they're under a huge amount of pressure now. Like, even I forgot that last time we played, it was a kick to win it. Um, we won it by 3 points. Like, they were on the upward curve, and their season has been like this. For me, I don't think Joe, in terms of his personality, is the right fit for Australia, but he's trying to put structure and organization in there. Him and his very structured Irish teacher kind of way doesn't fit with the Australian mentality, but he's just trying to find a starting point. And they will show up, they will try. I do think that we have too much for them, and I do think that's what's going to happen. But they're playing for a lot, because if they get out of that top, if they're not in that top 6 for this draw, that's a big problem. Rugby, I know they had a big. Didn't they have a sellout there when they were playing? Was it the Lions they were playing? They had the first sellout in a long time. So they need this to help keep the game growing at home. But no, I just think Joe is he's a teacher from St Andrews College. He's not a teacher from St Kilda's in Melbourne.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's easy for us, we to look ahead to the game against the Springboks the following week. But
Mm,
like I said, there's a lot riding on this for Australia. I know they had a disappointment last
yeah,
week, but they're going to have, they want the higher seeding, but also they'll look at this Ireland team as a lot like the Lions there just after facing, and they felt that they could have maybe gotten a bit more out of that series. They performed above expectations then as well. And plus there's the Joe
yeah,
Schmidt of it all. There's a lot. I mean, it's a decent lineup. You know what I mean? Like, I know James O'Connor comes in. You got Angus Bell, Valentini. They're missing Will Skelton, which is a big deal. Raj kind of helped us out a bit by playing him for La Rochelle a few weeks ago. So thanks thanks to Raj. But no, seriously, it's definitely not going to be straightforward anyway. That's for sure.
No.
And we'll see how that goes. Okay, quick look at the officials. Carl Dixon from England is holding the whistle for this one. Now the weather for Dublin. Now we got Claudia. It's an orange, red, whatever color you want. Warning. The official for Saturday evening is cloudy with a brief shower or two. Doesn't feel like that right now, but it's supposed to be clear up by tomorrow evening. But I'd still wear plenty if I'm going down to D4 on Saturday evening. Okay, so now for a quick look at the other matches this weekend. Which one stands out for you, Keego?
So England, New Zealand, I'm gonna watch because partly because I'm gonna enjoy it, and partly because of Six Nations coming up. England are still not likable, but they are changing a few things in their team. They've got this kind of utility hybrid thing going on. They have a lot of really fantastic athletes in that team, and I fancy them to win it. And they really are building momentum over the last 12 months or so. So they're going to be ones to watch in the Six Nations coming up. But I'll be watching that game. So they're the two I'm watching this weekend.
Yeah, it's sort of a conflicting one there because I mean, obviously, we're not usually it's in our DNA not to want England to win, but then again, New Zealand did bring out those graphics calling it a Grand Slam tour going into this series, so we wouldn't mind that little bubble being burst either. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, lots of matches this weekend. Italy playing South Africa, Wales, Japan. You'd fancy an away win there, wouldn't you? The way Japan came out of the box last week. France against Fiji, and then on Sunday, Scotland against Argentina. So a lot of test rugby there.
Great match on Sunday.
Oh, big time. Okay, going back to our feature match. It's ahead on the block time, Keego. How do you see it going at HQ?
I actually think we got the try disparity correct last week. I think so, but Ireland are going to win. We're going to. I'm more positive as the further we go. I think there's at least 4 tries in this game. I think Ireland are going to win by 2 scores.
Yeah, last week, one of the things that happened, we allowed Japan to impose their game on us from the start. They wanted a quick tempo rugby, and they were really they were taking quick throws. They were doing what they wanted to do, and we need to settle. I mean, Sam definitely needs that. He needs to be able to settle into his own game plan. So if we get off to a good start, I think we can definitely do it and get the win required. I think they should go. The maximum ranking points come from a 15-point win or more. They should be aiming for that. I mean, it won't be easy, but they should definitely push for that and get the most out of it they can. Okay, listen, we're going to leave it there, man. Many thanks for joining us today. What stand-up gigs have you got on the horizon?
Yeah, we have a big 2 weeks coming up. So tomorrow night, the 15th, we're in the Mill Theatre for our monthly Crack Dealers comedy show with Owen McLove from Father Ted closing the show, which is going to be great. And then next Saturday, the 22nd, I'm doing my own show, which is called A Life in the Year of an Irish Dad. So it's all about getting everything wrong except taking the bins out. So all the dads watching this is for us. This is our night out. So yeah, pop along. They do good points in there. So we'll see you this weekend and next weekend in the Mill Theatre.
Brilliant stuff. And of course, just for listeners, that's Crack, CRAIC, just so they know. But all those details and relevant links are in the program notes. So thanks again for joining us, sir. And thanks to you all for checking out our latest preview show. Be sure to enjoy the match wherever you are and look out for that Rap Pod recording Sunday evening. Hopefully you'll help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.